Good morning, Mr. President. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Good night?
Very good night. We had a good day and a good night.
How much sleep?
Probably I average 4 or 5 hours, I guess.
Wednesday morning, about 10 hours after we last saw the president, we greet him at the elevator coming down from the private quarters of the White House. He begins with an admission. He skips the most important meal of the day.
Are you a big breakfast guy?
I'm not a breakfast guy at all, fortunately. No. I like the lunches, but the dinners is what I really like.
You know, this colonnade, I remember I was with President Obama in one of his final days in office. He said this is in some ways his favorite part of the White House, where he really made some of his biggest decisions. What does it mean to you?
It's an incredible part of the White House, it is. And you see it all your life. You know, you see presidents walking back and forth with others. This is an incredible place.
You feel the weight of the office when you're walking down this colonnade?
I think about the office when I'm walking down. This is just because you've grown up looking at this colonnade. Mm-hmm. Look, in another hour from now, we have a big ceremony on Poland. You'll see hundreds of cameras out there, and this is what they're looking at. So you grow up looking at it, and you say, wow, I'm now a part of it. It's a very special house. The whole White House is a special place.
It's a long way from coming down that escalator 4 years ago.
It is. It's a long way, and it's been actually a lot of fun. Highly competitive. The world is highly competitive. But I think we're doing a great job. I don't think anybody's done more in 2.5 years than what I've done with regulation, with taxes, with actually, believe it or not, with world events. We get along with a lot of countries that people don't understand, but they respect us again.
What's the most fun part of the job?
I think just the accomplishment of doing a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Hardest part?
The hardest is usually Congress. I find Congress more difficult, frankly, than many of the foreign leaders.
Why is that?
Because they have their own views. You never know exactly, but they have their own views.
But that's democracy, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is, but then I play the game, but sometimes it's too much of a game. There's so many things like the border. The border should be done, George. The border, the Democrats should come in 15 minutes to an hour, we can have it all solved. It's so simple.
But that would mean you'd have to give some stuff as well.
Well, but it's not even giving stuff. The things that we're talking about, you shouldn't have to give. It's so basic. I mean, there are 3 or 4 loopholes. You solve those loopholes, you no longer have a problem at the border.
More people crossing the border than ever before right now.
Well, that's because the economy is so good, they're trying to come into a country. I mean, we have many more people wanting to come in, and they come for economic reasons. They're not coming for asylum. They use asylum as a way.
Many are facing violence.
Really, they're coming, though, most of them, for economic reasons. And the country is doing better economically than ever before, and everybody wants to crack in.
We're about to walk into the Oval Office. Where do you make your biggest decisions? Is it in there? Is it upstairs? Is it in your study?
I really all over. It's in the plane sometimes, going to a country. It's in the strangest places. But
it just hits you?
Office, I'll tell you, the Oval Office is such a special place.
Show us around. Famous desk.
So that's a very famous desk. That's the Resolute desk. And that was Ronald Reagan.
JFK.
It was JFK, and it's a very famous picture of John right here.
President Clinton used that as well.
President Clinton used it. A number of great presidents used it, and frankly, I had my choice. You have your choice of 7 desks. I have 7 desks, and that was the one that immediately, that was the one I liked.
Do they give you a catalog?
They actually do. They give you pictures of desks. They give you pictures of carpet. This is the Ronald Reagan carpet. They give you pictures of the drapes. You see the drapes? They say, I think we have 12 sets of drapes we can use, and I chose those drapes, but...
What's the biggest personal touch you've put on the office?
Well, I put a lot of them, the flags. You didn't have flags to any great degree. You had an American flag, but for the most part, you didn't have flags.
Do you actually do work in here, or is it all for meetings?
I do work in here. I have most of the meetings in here. People like to be in the room. It's very comfortable. And back there, I have a tremendous amount of work. In fact, you'd see it's a much different effect. You can't have, every time we have pictures, everyone wants a picture. You don't want to take all the things off your desk. So I have a desk back here that I actually use much more.
Do you find you can use the power of this setting to get your way? You're talking with those CEOs.
I don't think about it. I don't really, I don't focus on that, but I think probably it's true. Right there, that's more judges I'm signing. We've signed 107 judges since I'm in, and I'll get 145 plus 2 Supreme Court judges, which we already have.
Do you think that could end up being your most lasting impact?
Well, it could. I mean, people have said that. I don't think of it that way because we've given the biggest tax cut in history. We have Anwar. We have the biggest regulation cut.
Tax cuts come and go. Judges make decisions for generations.
They do, and regulation cuts come and go. But the reason the economy is so good, and the reason that so many people are pouring up through Mexico and wanting to come into our country, including people from Mexico, is because the economy is so powerful. It's so good.
Already sent out 3 tweets this morning, and I'm usually at my desk around between 6:30 and 7 when they start to come in. It seems like you're very conscious of you're going to set the news for the day before all of us do.
Yeah, I don't think of it that way. It obviously didn't work because I watched your show this morning. I watched Good Morning America, and they had something about the polling, and it's really suppression polling. It's fake polling, but in that case, it was just made-up polling. And I had the same thing made up. I mean, they give you phony numbers. They give you numbers. They said that they have access to numbers, which I don't believe they have access to. They want to suppress the minds of people so they don't bother going out and voting.
Do you think there's a real conspiracy?
No, I think it's just a bad group of people. It shouldn't be allowed. But that's no different than the fake news. And the fake news is at a level that it's never been at before.
You and I, we know we disagree about that, but we have a whole day ahead to go on this.
Our conversation continues a few minutes later. The president now seated at the Resolute desk, showing us some of those presidential appointments awaiting his signature, and complaining again about polls showing him running behind Joe Biden.
For instance, on Good Morning America today, they had that phony polling information. I explained to you last night that it was phony, but you didn't do anything about it. You should have, but it was late in the evening and perhaps you didn't get a chance.
I've studied those polls. I've heard the explanations for them.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter.
But why does it bother you so much?
Because it's untrue. I like the truth. You know, I'm actually a very honest guy. If I thought they were correct, I wouldn't be complaining at all. I understand that. It's like the witch hunt that goes on. No collusion with Russia. There was no collusion. And what bothers me...
As you know, that's not what Robert Mueller found.
It said no collusion. You know what? Nobody even brings Russia up anymore. What bothers me is when you did nothing wrong and they have a phony witch hunt. That bothers me. And Mueller, who hates Trump, he's a never-Trumper, and then he puts 18 people...
What evidence do you have that he hates you?
George, well, I know he hates me. And then he puts 18 people on who are Democrats.
Not all Democrats.
Well, they're very close, and they were contributed to Hillary, and some of them even worked for Hillary Clinton.
You've called Robert Mueller honorable. Why the switch?
I'm not switching or anything. I would hope he's honorable, but you know what? He gave us no collusion. That was a very big thing.
He did not say that.
Frankly, he did say that. He said
explicitly didn't look at collusion. He said there was no.
Report.
I did. He said that there was insufficient evidence to say there was a conspiracy.
Read the conclusion of the report. Just read it, okay?
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.